No matter what event I'm at, or whoever I'm flying with, someone always goes out of their way to say, what is going on with your ground station? And I am here to once and for all set the record straight on just how awesome and ugly this thing really is. So this is my ground station in all of its glory. Let's dig in. So first, the tripod. This is a tripod that I picked up at Walmart for about 15 bucks. It is the flimsiest thing in the world, but it does its job. It packs down very small and it will extend to about shoulder height when fully extended. And we'll start from the bottom and work our way to the top. I keep this one carabiner on here so that I can hang my transmitter from the station. In addition, my goggles sit up on top of the antennas, or sometimes they'll go here if I have the antennas very particularly oriented. And what this means is that I can take this whole thing, pick it up by the middle there, and carry it out to the flying field when I'm racing and I want my ground station. Moving on up, we have our battery. This is a 5 amp 3 cell. It is from Hobby King. I think I got it for like $11 or $12. This will run my ground station for a weekend. And moving right along, the ground station plugs into, yes, its own power distribution board. I have inside of this Emax red bottom container a power distribution board with 5 volt and 12 volt out if I need it. And this red LED always comes on when power is connected. Then on top, I installed this little switch that powers literally everything on the station. When that switch is flipped, this green LED comes on to let me know that everything is powered, and this LED stays on at all times to make sure that I know that there's a battery plugged in. So if we close this, on the face I have a voltage checker for the battery for the ground station. In addition, on the side here, I have Velcroed a voltage checker for my batteries. Now I could do this with a balance checker, but just with a little XT60 and one of those voltmeters, it's just a nice tool to have always equipped to your ground station. The power distribution board inside of this box powers literally everything on the ground station, and right here you've got the screen, you've got your video receiver, your goggles, battery input, out for the voltmeter, and then out for the fan. Working our way around to the right, we have another 2 features. We have a screen, which is pulled from the inside of Ghetto goggles, Hobby King Ghetto goggles, and I just bolted a little piece of fabric to the back so that I can just attach it nice and snugly onto the thing. Stepping down a little bit, I also have a PC fan that has a power switch on it, so I can turn it on and off. We'll turn it off there, and that's just a nicety to help keep myself cool on a muggy day out in the field. On the back side, we have just the mess of wiring that's required to get all of this hooked up. I have a splitter that splits the signal from my receiver into both my goggles and my screen so that they see the exact same thing, so I never have to put the goggles on to test video, and I can also use the screen to help if I'm like doing camera tuning or something like that where I don't want to necessarily be inside of the goggles. So I'm going to take this off and lower it so that we can take a look at the top more easily. So I'm going to take these off just to get them out of the way. These are Dominator V3s with a ground station cable, which I believe you can find on Hobby King for a couple bucks, that has the 3-pin video audio input or output, or no, input, and 12 volt that goes into the receiver and powers the goggles. So you just have these 2 cables, no receiver antenna, no heavy battery sitting on it. This is my fan battery that I just leave on there. On the top, we have our FR632, standard diversity box cam receiver, and connected to it are 2 VAS helical 5-turn right-hand circular polarized antennas. And why 2 directional, you say? Well, I find that 99% of the time when I'm flying in front of myself, so I get the higher gain antennas and point them out in, roughly, these have a 130-degree field of view, so I'll just kind of do something like this, and I will get perfect video across all of a race course or a flying field or wherever I'm going to be. If I need to put a circular polarized antenna on there, I always carry one in my goggle case right here ready to go. And moving around to the back, the last feature is actually an Arduino Uno. I meant to put a Nano on here, but I didn't have one when I first built this, and I haven't gotten around to re-adding it. Actually, I think I even have the Nano right here ready to go. I just need to actually go through the trouble of installing it and putting my software on there. But really all of this does, and I think thanks to RS2K for releasing the code on this, is this sends a digital signal to a pin inside of the FR632. I've got some wires running up in there to do it, and what it means is that everything, as soon as the power switch comes on here, literally everything on the ground station gets power. The screen comes on, the fan will come on. If the switch is on, the FR632 gets power, so you don't have to push the power button to turn it on. The goggles get power. You can see that they're on as well. And so that just is it's just a nice little thing to basically turn the FR632 on. So ugly and annoying and cumbersome, but super nice. You know, when I crash out in the field, I don't want to have my ground station running. I just go boop, walk away, come get my quad, blah, 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 come back to the ground station when I'm ready to fly again, boop, everything's back on, ready to go, no fiddling around. So that is my extremely ugly, disgusting first-person view ground station, but I challenge you to find one that you like and has just as many features as this. The only thing that's missing here is like an Oracle and Quadversity, which may or may not be in the works. So that's my ground station. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. Stay flying.